This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. This is Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, a.k.a. the Python Hyena. And folks, Snatch is a very popular film here in Fredericton, of course, popular everywhere, and I saw that in the theaters when it originally came out, and I have it home on Blu-ray. But you know what? To me, there's a lot of great personalities in that film, but my favorite is Bricktop, and I have the wonderfully talented Alan Ford on the phone with me today out of London. How do you do, Alan?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
What's it like in London right now?
Oh, it's beautiful. The sun is shining. It's a lovely August day. Yeah, it's beautiful. It was beautiful yesterday, and it's going to be beautiful for the rest of the week, I believe. For a week or so, yeah.
Yes.
Very good. It's London at its best, yeah.
Yes, I've done a few interviews out of London. One that most comes right to mind is Caroline Munro. Have you ever met her before?
I'm sorry, you have to repeat that.
I was going to say I've done a few interviews out of London and out of the UK, and one was Caroline Munro, and I was wondering if you've ever encountered her.
No, I've never worked with Caroline. No, I don't know her. No.
Well, I think it would be cool to see you two in a film together. I think that would be just righteous.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a compliment, by the way. But
okay.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
You're welcome. You know, I'm so honored to have you on here, and must thank Malcolm Browning for hooking this up. Snatch, we'll start with that because, I mean, you worked with Guy Ritchie in a couple of films, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. And, of course, Snatch, you had this nice polarizing role as Bricktop. Did you ever think that it would be the thing that you would be known for all these years later?
Well, I knew it was a good role. When I read the script, I thought this is a great role for, any Londoner, to play. And so I learnt all the dialogue for my first audition. And then I got called back, I think it was 3, maybe 4 times. Every time I made an effort, look my best and do that. But the 4th time I thought, I can't be bothered anymore. They're just messing me about. So I didn't put my contact lenses in. I just went along in my casual clothes, and Guy Ritchie said, "Oh, I like the bins. That means glasses.
Yes.
I like the glasses, Al. We'll get you some glasses." And it's only then that I knew I had the role. But I knew all the lines anyway because I'd learned them so that I could, when I auditioned, I could look straight into the camera, without referring to a script, as a lot of people do. So, yeah, I knew it was a great role, and I knew I could do it very well. And it's proved to be very good. It's proved to be a bit of a quantum leap in my career.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to have been part of it, yeah.
Yeah, you had some, like I was watching on YouTube all the Bricktop scenes and just, get me a rundown before I did this interview, and it was like, you steal every scene you're in. I mean, I think to me, you're the film. As all the talent in that film, to me, you're the best part of it.
Well, it's very flattering of you to say that, but it was full of other very good actors as well.
It was,
doing very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, of course, you had that wonderful monologue where you talk about the cutting up of the body in 6 parts and feeding them to the pigs,
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
You get recognized a lot through this movie?
Oh, I do, yes. Yeah, everywhere I go. I was in New York a year or so ago, and I got recognized there. I was in Chicago some years ago, and guys were saying, "Are you in a movie? Are you in a movie?" I said, "Well, I'm in quite a few, actually, but Snatch is the one that everybody remembers."
Yes, yes. Tell me, when you saw, I don't know whether you went to did you go to the premiere when the film was originally issued?
Yeah, in England it was in 2000.
Yep.
And we had a premiere here in Leicester Square. And then I went to the premiere in Hollywood in 2001.
Yeah.
in January 2001. And we opened at the DGA Theatre in Hollywood. So, yeah, and I was there. So it went down very well, you know. It's a film that's made a lot of money, and everybody loves it. Yeah.
What did you think watching yourself do this role? I mean, this like I said, like just a standout role. I mean, the glasses even added to your appearance in that film. Everything about that character just zeroed in.
Well, as I said, right from the start, I knew it was a good role, and I knew I could do it. And all the lines were written by Guy Ritchie, and he did write dialogue that actually rolled off my tongue. So it wasn't hard for me. It's just very easy for me to do, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I was very pleased with the outcome. Very pleased.
And of course, you know, you get to work with. This was the first time I recall ever seeing Jason Statham, who's gone on to be in so many action movies. And of course, he was nearly under the gun through Bricktop in that film. What was it like working with him?
Oh, Jason's a nice guy, no problem at all. He's very athletic, as he's gone on to prove in his later films. He loves all that kung fu and jumping around and all that sort of thing. But his first film was Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels. I believe it was the first film he ever made.
That's
I
right.
believe. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I think it was the first one, yeah.
Yeah,
I've worked with him there on that.
Yeah, we didn't get Lock, Stock in our theaters here either. We did get Snatch here. I don't know why we didn't get Lock, Stock, and it's also very popular. I had slipped my mind there that he was in that. Yes, he was. But, yeah, and of course
he was very much in it, yeah.
Yeah. But Stephen Graham, of course, is his little partner in crime in that as well. And I loved it how Bricktop just intimidated him, even when he tries to add some helpful dialogue about the boxer.
Yeah. Stephen Graham, also a very lovely actor, very good actor, gone on to do very well for himself.
You had a lot of
really good work. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a lot of really great work from people in that film. Of course, Brad Pitt, you can't understand a word he's saying. He's the pikey. What was it like for you to work with him?
Brad Pitt, very nice chap. Very, very nice chap. No problem at all. Very professional. Not starry at all. Just one of the boys, you know. He loved it. He loved that film. He was doing he was having a great time, actually. Yeah. Very nice guy to work with. Yeah, very nice man. Yeah.
The interesting thing about Brad, he's always looked at in these glamour magazines, but yeah, he's not afraid to make himself look like this. Like, his pikey character wasn't exactly the most clean-cut character he's ever played. And yeah, he did the role, and like I said, I love that part where he's in the ring and he gets hit and he goes up in the air in slow motion and he comes down. It's like going under the water. That was beautifully done.
That. He's a great actor, yeah. Very athletic, as you can see, yeah.
And of course, you didn't have any scenes with Dennis Farina, but I think next to you, his was the next scene stealing a role in the movie.
Well, Dennis Farina and myself, we were the two oldest guys on the film because everybody else was much younger than us. So we were the one interesting thing is we were the two oldest guys, and we had the best heads of hair. All the young guys were bald.
I agree. He had that great line where he goes, and when the woman says anything to declare, and he goes, "Yeah, don't go to London." He just had the most.
That's right. Yeah. Also, a very nice man. Dennis was a very nice chap.
Yeah, and it's
we shared we had our caravans, that we changed in next to each other, and I could always hear his music. He always had. Nat King Cole, mostly Nat King Cole sing, or Ella Fitzgerald. He always had a lovely taste in music. It was always great to listen to the music coming from his trailer into mine, yeah. A very nice guy, very nice man. The late Dennis, yeah.
Sad we lost him, too.
Yeah. It was a great loss, yeah.
Yeah, and Benicio del Toro in this, and Vinnie Jones. It was just a fantastic cast. I think the only females you see are those twins, and of course, I can't think of the name
The
of.
mother.
Oh yes, the mother.
Yeah.
The mother. That's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about the mother, and I was.
Its mother. Yeah.
And I was thinking about I can't remember the name of the actress who was in where the bank hold up there, and she had her hair all shaved down. She was in a movie with Meryl Streep not too long ago.
Well, I don't know her. I never worked with her. I never
Yeah.
met her, but yeah, she did. It was a very funny scene, wasn't it?
Yeah, Nicholson was her last name. I can't remember her first name. But yeah,
Okay.
that was a very funny scene, and the movie was great. I have noticed that you did a lot of horror films, and I've seen quite a few of these. And do you have a preference for horror films?
No, not particularly, but a lot of horror films get made, you know. I mean, I did The Exorcist at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I've done Strippers versus Werewolves. My favorite is Cockneys versus Zombies. Have you seen that?
That one I haven't, no, but the title is certainly inviting.
That's my favorite.
Okay, tell me why that one's your favorite.
I would urge you to watch Cockneys versus Zombies.
I will definitely
watch
watch
it. It's one of the funniest films I've been involved in.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's your role in that?
I play an old age pensioner in an old people's home.
Okay.
And the old people's home is going to be moved, sold to developers.
Okay.
And then suddenly some zombies arrive, and my home full of Cockneys. Do you know what a Cockney is?
I do
It's a
not.
Londoner. It means
Okay.
a Londoner.
Okay.
And we get together and we fight the zombies. I think I shot about 100 zombies. And my girlfriend in it is played by the wonderful Pussy Galore.
Oh, wow, James Bond. Pussy galore. Wow, what that must have been a thrill.
It was indeed, yeah. Well, she's good enough for James Bond. She's good enough for me.
Well,
That's very funny. I would urge you to watch that one. It's a very good film.
I am going to watch that. Now that you mentioned that, I'm going to watch that. Besides, Sean Connery was not there to help her out. You was, so you've earned the right.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to check that out. Yes. Now the production on that must have been quite massive, right?
Cockneys, you mean, or
Yeah,
or
Cockneys,
you talk about Snatch still?
yeah, Cockneys, because you're dealing with zombies, of course, and zombies very popular here.
Yeah, well, they're popular everywhere. That's why so many of these films get made. Cockneys, zombies, and werewolves, and ghosts, and whatever. You know, there's so many of these things.
Well, we just, of course, lost George Romero, who, of course, directed Night of the Living Dead, and that seemed to be what steamrolled.
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you were in one of my favorite werewolf movies, An American Werewolf in London. You appear as a cab driver in that movie, and I never had anybody on here from American Werewolf in London. I've tried to get people on here. I've had a couple people from The Howling that came out the same year as American Werewolf in London, but tell me about the process of that film.
Well, I mean, for me, it was just a very small part, a very, one scene, driving the taxi. But I had to go down to Teddington Studios to meet John Landis.
Yep.
And he explained. I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He said, "We're making this movie. It's going to be werewolf. We're going to do this. There's going to be a crash here and a crash there." And I thought, I don't really know what this guy's talking about. Anyway, I was completely wrong. It turned out to be a really massive film. I mean, it was just. It broke all box office records in the first week. It was just so popular. So, I was very lucky to be on that. Very lucky.
It had that great...
I just did the scene in the taxi, yeah.
Well, it had that great scene, too, when the guy is changing into the werewolf, and, of course, that the Blue Moon music playing in the background.
To me, I still think that's one of the best transformation scenes ever in any of those horror movies.
I agree.
The transformation, that was the best. It's a bit like the car chase in Bullet. that was still the best car chase ever. The best transformation scene was in that, that one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Do you think
American Werewolf in London?
Do you think the car chase in Bullet was as good as the car chase in The French Connection?
I think the Bullet was the best, yeah, but the French Connection was pretty good too.
Yeah,
but the Bullet, I think that was the best. That San Francisco, those hills and that car, it was fantastic. Yeah.
I just watched
Every
Bullet
time
a
it's on
few.
TV, I will watch it.
I just watched Bullet a few nights ago too.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was listening to the Peter Yates commentary track on the Blu-ray as he talked about the movie and working with Steve McQueen. So I was watching that a couple nights ago. Yeah. But no, that was a great transformation scene in the movie. Did you get to meet Rick Baker?
No.
No, he was the guy, of course, that did the werewolf effects in American Werewolf in London. That's why I asked.
No, I didn't meet him. No. But it was very good. The effects were brilliant. Yeah.
In the same year, you did Venom as well. Of course, a black mamba snake on the loose.
Oh, Venom. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that was I played a copper in that one, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going back over 30 years for all these things. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know you've done a few horror films, and of course, I happen to really like snakes. My DJ name is Python, and of course, you got a black mamba, who's one of the most dangerous snakes in the entire world. And of course, what a creature to have as a backbone to a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really shown in this country. That film. It's a film that's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it has. It got replaced by other films, but I mean, of course, at the time, it was one of. Of course, there was a whole string of horror films that come out. I mean, after Halloween broke all these box office records, horror films really had a strong point, and of course, there are a lot of horror films fixated around animals, and of course, when you got a snake that poisonous, of course. So, do you remember any of your experiences from working on Venom?
All I remember, it was a night shoot and talking with Nicole Williamson and Oliver Reed. Mm-hmm. They were the big names in the film. And Oliver Reed, I was just hoping he was going to behave himself all the time, and he did.
Did you get to see the black mamba?
It was a night shoot.
Did you get to see the black mamba snake?
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, you want to stay away from those, huh?
Well, yeah, they're the most dangerous snakes in the world, apparently.
Yep.
They jump, don't they? They can jump across a room.
Well, they're the fastest. They're the fastest, and I think they're like 14 feet long. So they're quite a thing to reckon with. I saw a video not too long ago where a black mamba snake was crawling through the grass, and a rhinoceros and a Cape buffalo both fled just at the sight of it. And when you can make creatures that size flee, you get a reputation. Yeah. But The Exorcist, the beginning, like I said, I went and saw that when I discovered you were in it. I liked you that much in Snatch. I went to see this movie, and of course, I think The Exorcist, the beginning is probably the best one since the original Exorcist. Were you a fan of the original Exorcist, or did you just take this?
The original one, yes, I was. Yeah. I was quite thrilled to be asked to be in an Exorcist film, and also to work in Rome at the Cinecittà Studios.
Yeah,
that was, I felt quite honoured to work at Cinecittà, which was, one of the great European film studios. So yeah, I was very pleased to be there. Yeah, and nice people, very nice people. Stellan Skarsgård was a nice guy to work with.
Oh yeah, he's a terrific actor.
Excellent actor. Yeah. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
I've worked abroad a lot in the last few years. I did some Swedish stuff and worked in Norway with Stephen Van Zandt doing the Lilyhammer series.
Mm-hmm.
With Rome. There was Rome, Lilyhammer in Sweden, Norway. And I did a Swedish film just about 3 years ago called the 100-year-old man who climbed up the window and disappeared.
Absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
you played Pym. Yeah, that played at the Film Society down here at the university.
It's a very good film.
Yes.
It was also a best-selling novel.
Yeah, you played the role of Pym in that film.
Yes, a gangster, a Cockney gangster again. So I had a great time enjoying myself doing it. We shot our stuff in Phuket, Thailand.
Yeah. Well, that film gained quite a we don't get a whole lot of films outside North America here, but that one there gained quite a reputation and got some recognition in some of the award circuits as well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. No, it played down here, and it was very well received, and a lot we didn't get it at the mall. But so we get a film society down here that puts on some of these films, especially foreign films, that don't get played in the mass markets. And there's a lot of the same people show up, but they're always sold out. People love to see these films, and that one in particular, was very well received here.
Well, I was very happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going back to The Exorcist. The Exorcist is going to be 45 years old next year. I'm 45 now. That came out the year after I was born. So it's like The Exorcist has just been around for all my lifetime. And of course, you get to be in the beginning and a
prequel. They call it a prequel. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was a prequel. He played Father Merrin, the character that Stellan Skarsgård played. Father Merrin, who Max
Skarsgård,
yeah. Oh, that's right. Who go on?
As he played him as a young man. Yeah.
Because Max
after the war. Yeah.
Yeah, Max von Sydow played him in the original. Okay, yeah. And Isabel Skrupko also in that from, of course, Goldeneye. Yeah.
Yes, the beautiful Isabella, yeah.
Yes.
She was very nice to work with. Nice, lovely lady.
Now, you mentioned Cockneys versus zombies. You also did strippers versus werewolves as well. You must laugh when you see these titles alone, huh?
I wouldn't rush to see that one if I were you.
Strippers versus werewolves?
Yeah, I wouldn't rush to see it.
Okay, that one's a bad one, huh?
All I'm saying is I wouldn't rush to see it.
That one...
But I would urge you to see Cockneys versus Zombies.
Okay, I'll see Cockneys versus Zombies. Now, why didn't you like Strippers versus Werewolves? Now, you remember...
I'm not going to elaborate. It's not my job to say bad things about films, yeah.
I actually haven't seen that one. We didn't get that here, but I heard about it on, I think it was Sirius Satellite Radio, and one of their programs was talking about it, and I thought, what an odd name for a movie, and I just discovered it in your credits. But
there's been a few similar ones just using that name. It's a catcher, isn't it? People want to watch.
Yeah.
People want to watch werewolves and zombies. They also want to watch strippers, so that tells you what it's all about. Yeah,
pretty much is it. You were also in, of course, a film that was up for Oscars and won some, Chaplin, with, of course, Robert Downey Jr. playing Charlie Chaplin.
Well, I did work on that film, but I'm not seen in it. The scene I did was actually cut, so although I worked on the film, I'm not to be seen. Like a lot of movies, yeah.
Now, why would they cut your part?
Well, it obviously didn't move the story along, and it was probably an extraneous scene. I mean, a lot of films, most films that get made, you don't see all of them. They're always chopped and cut about in the edit, so it was just one of those scenes that disappeared.
I bet you could hold your own against Robert Downey Jr.
I can hold my own against anybody.
I believe so. The
problem is getting the opportunity to do so. So, if you don't get the job, you can't prove yourself. So there we are. It's nice when you can get a chance to do what you're born to do properly. Yeah.
Well, last night I went online because I was doing a little research on you to prepare for this, and I noticed that you're in a music video called So He's a Jolly Good Felon, and I watched that music video. Of course, you're playing another gangster in that. What was it like doing a music video?
I haven't seen that. I did it. It's with a young pop group, isn't it?
Yeah,
I did it for them, and I haven't seen it. I don't know.
I watched it last night.
I can't talk about that.
Yeah, well, it was pretty cool song, and yeah, watched you in it, and you were I think you had kind of like a gangster type role. You seem to get, I guess you got kind of typecast to playing the gangster roles. Does that bother you any?
Oh, listen, it's better to be typecast than not cast.
Yeah, well,
I don't have a problem with that at all. And I've been cast mostly as gangsters. That film's coming back. That one's coming back to me now. I do remember doing it. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. It's with the boxer, wasn't it?
Yep.
With the cage fighter.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember shooting that. Yeah, we shot that in London. Yeah.
Was that a fun shoot for you?
Come back to me now. Sorry?
Was that a fun shoot for you?
It was a tough one because it was quite cold on that day, I remember. No, it wasn't. It was good. Yeah.
Well,
music video, that's right. Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
You also, of course, we got to talk about your book. You did a book called Thin Ice that came out in 2006. Talk about that.
Yes, I'm very pleased with that. I'm very proud of that. It actually evolved from a one-man show that I was doing in the theatre.
Okay.
I did this one-man show with and it went down very well. And one day, a young lady, I was doing it at an arts fair, and a young lady said, "Who's your publisher?" I said, "Well, I haven't got one. I just write the stuff, and I just, say it, And she said, "Well, we must. I'd like to publish your work." So I said, "Well, really?" So she took me to lunch at the Ivy, and then we got together, and I had to write a few extra chapters and start from the beginning. But it all got done, and it's been quite successful. And I'm very pleased that you noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thin Ice, my book.
Yeah. How long did it take you to write that?
I didn't set out to be a writer. It just happened. Yeah.
How long did it take you to write this?
Well, after she asked me, it took me about a year. But it was evolving for many years. I used to write these things and then express them to my mates. And then one of my mates said, "Why don't you do a one-man show? Telling these tales." So I did, and he produced me, and he got to put the money up to get me into some theatres, and it went down very well, and it evolved, over the years into a novel.
Why?
Actually, I was doing it, and then I stopped doing it to film Snatch.
Okay.
And then a couple of years went by, and then I dusted it down off the shelf, and did it again at another literary festival, and that's when this young lady invited me to have it published. And a very, very nice thing it was too. Yeah.
Why did you call it Thin Ice?
As in skating on thin ice.
Yeah, I got that.
You know that expression?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do know that.
It's a story of a day in the life of an out of work actor, of which I was very, very familiar with, and lots of tales and anecdotes from myself and other people, and I just put them all together made it into one day, and that's what the book is. It's a day in the life of an actor who is skating on thin ice, just living from hand to mouth and getting by, like most actors have to do.
It's funny you mention that, because there's dialogue in Snatch said by you where you say, "You're skating on thin ice, and I'll be under it when it breaks."
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with my book. It's just a line that Guy Ritchie wrote, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought of when I saw the title, and you'd mentioned that. So, yeah,
Yeah. No, it was nothing to do. The book was, published. Well, after that, but I mean, my show was called Thin Ice anyway, long before Snatch was written. Yeah.
so where can people
Yeah.
get this book?
Well, you can get it on the Amazon. Do you have Amazon there? Do you
Yes,
do
we
the
do.
Amazon thing?
Yes, we do.
Well, you can get one on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah,
People
'cause
still buy them. They get them from Amazon, and every now and again somebody asks me to sign one, and I'm always happy to oblige.
yeah. What do you do the convention circuit, like the autograph convention circuits?
No, I don't. No.
Because I would think that
No.
you'd be quite a staple at one of those.
Well, I haven't been invited to do them, but yeah. But I wouldn't want to be doing those things if it interferes with my work, because I'm always looking to, for the next job. So there we are. Yeah, I could do those things, and maybe I will one day.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, especially here, Snatch very popular. I would think that I think people charge like $20 an autograph or something like that, and people bring stuff and have them signed. I like watching those YouTube videos where at the Comic Cons and stuff like that, and I guess it's a great way for fans to meet these people from the movies, and I heard some really good stories. Yeah, I would think that you'd be popular at something like that.
Yes. Well, maybe I will do that one day.
Yeah. So what?
In the meantime, I'm waiting for the next movie to show up. So there we are.
Well, I noticed that your first film was called The Squeeze, is it not?
That was the first major role as the Squeeze. Yeah, I did that back in the very hot summer of 1976. But I was into movies before that. Before I went to drama school,
Okay.
I went to drama school for 3 years. But before that, I worked in the film industry as a film extra, stand-in, whatever was going. I was always, hanging around, wanting to become an actor. And my very first role in a movie was offered to me by Francois Truffaut, a film called Fahrenheit 451,
Okay.
which is also a very famous book and quite a well-known science fiction film. It's about a dystopian future in which all books are banned.
Yeah.
And firemen don't put fires out; they start fires. Burn books.
So
So yeah, that was my first real movie that I was in. Yeah,
did
I was playing a real character. Yeah.
did you always want to be an
Did
actor?
you ever see The Squeeze or Fahrenheit 451?
I have not. I was looking at your credits last night, and I noticed that you've been working like since about the time I was born. I've seen I've seen a lot of I've seen Snatch, and I've seen a lot of your horror films, but I was looking back on the stuff you'd done beforehand, because I was trying to familiarize myself with how long you've been in the business.
It's 50 years. 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you always wanted to be an actor?
Always, yeah. I always felt driven. I always. It took me a long while to find my way into it, but yeah, I always wanted to be an actor. Yeah.
Did you have any favorite films growing up, like anything that just inspired you, or any actors that inspired you?
Well, as a youngster, I used to love westerns.
Okay.
I always thought I'd love to be a cowboy. I could go see every bloody western I could. I loved westerns.
Have any
As a
favorites?
youngster. Well, I mean, it'd go right back, black and white films. I used to see it when I was a boy.
Mm-hmm.
A character called Johnny McBrown was my favorite cowboy.
Okay.
But we were watching films in the 40s that were made in the 30s, so because it took 10 years to get to London, so they were all, I loved all those cowboy films. And then as I grew older, I came off the prairie
Mm-hmm.
into the urban environment, and then I just loved gangster films. I'm a big fan of film noir. I love film noir. The shadows. I like I like the cars. I like the clothes. I like the women. I like the guns.
Mm-hmm.
I love film noir. Every time there's a film noir on TV, I will watch it over and over again. Yeah. Yeah.
Film noir was really big in the 40s in particular.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yep.
the era of filmmaking I love. Yeah.
Yeah, we took film noir when I took some film classes years ago, to improve my knowledge of film, and we did a section on film noir and watched like the original Scarface, the one Howard Hawks made, and
I know the one. Yeah.
yeah. Double Indemnity and films like that, and we talked about shadows and stuff like that you had mentioned, and there's something about the look of those films that make them quite different than anything you're seeing today.
Yep, I absolutely love film noir. I always did, and still do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, Humphrey
Robert
Bogart.
Mitchum.
Yep.
Joan Crawford.
Yeah.
I love all those. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's a question. When you played Bricktop, was there any outside characters that you brought in kind of that inspired your performance in that? Or was that just completely on you, what you brought out in that role?
No. I grew up in an area called the Elephant and Castle in London.
Okay.
It's a very tough area. And so I was very familiar with real London gangsters.
Okay.
Yeah, quite a lot of them. See them around in the pubs and the clubs, and always, noted the way they dressed or their demeanor, the way they walked, the way they talked, and I was very familiar with that world.
Wow. So you don't know, like I was going to ask you, what you got coming up in the future. You don't have any film projects coming up?
I just talked to Malcolm, my agent, and there's somebody wants a possible film he's dealing with at the moment. There's a little film, a short film by a Dutch director called Sil van der Woord.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to be in one of his films in November.
Okay.
I've got a couple of films that haven't seen the light of day yet. I made a movie last year called Trendy.
Okay.
Which, to me, was a really, really good script, and I was really pleased with my role in it. But I haven't heard any more about it since. Whether they got the money to get it going or not, I don't know. The last I heard that it was being offered to the Toronto Film Festival. So I would be really interested if it does get shown at Toronto. It's called Trendy. I'm very pleased with my role in that. But whether it gets shown or not, I don't know. The year before that, I made a movie called Gloves Off.
Okay.
Haven't heard any more about that since. So that's 2 years ago. So, you do these films and you don't know whether they're going to get shown or finished until they do.
Are you able to talk about your roles in those films?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Gloves Off, I play an older man who's in an ex-fighter, an ex-boxer.
Okay.
Who his son is having a romance. His son is going broke. We're having a romance at the same time, and I'm in an old people's home, but I come out the old people's home and help him out with his troubles. So it is a nice character to play. But the one in Trendy that I did last year, I play a racist, xenophobe who hates all the gentrification and hipsters that are around and taking over the area that he's grown up in. He's quite a nasty man, but very well written, and I enjoyed playing that. He's not a gangster, but just hard-bitten older man. Yeah, very, very nice character to play. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Something like that I'd be interested to see. I don't know. Are they in the independent circuit? Like are they independent films? Yes,
they are. Yeah.
That explains why it's taken so long.
The only thing I've heard is it's possibly going to be shown at the Toronto Film Festival. And when is the Toronto Film Festival? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't. I think it's this fall, but since like I've never been to Toronto, I haven't been outside New Brunswick, so I don't keep
Okay.
But if I was to take a guess, I'd say this fall, but I don't want to give you the wrong information. But
Okay, well, it's fall quite soon, isn't it? So I would, if you do find out that Trendy is showing, would you phone me and let me know?
I could definitely do that. Absolutely. I could.
Okay, well, I'd appreciate that.
I would definitely let you know that. Yeah, because what would
Yeah, if Trendy is showing, yeah, I'd really appreciate that. Yeah.
okay, I'll do that. I'll keep a lookout on that and see what's going on. This is just a huge honor, Dave, to talk to you today. And like I said, Snatch had a lot of great things in it, a lot of great performance. But I think yours was the standout role in the film. And of course, you did that book, Thin Ice. Are you going to do another book?
No, I haven't got any plans. I write every day, but I don't have any plans to get published. I write for my own, amusement. Who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I don't have any plans to publish another book. I've got an idea.
Okay.
Well, if you were to buy my book on the Amazon,
okay,
and post it to me via Malcolm,
okay,
I would sign it and post it back to you. That way you get my book and you get my autograph. How does that sound?
You know what? That sounds like a great
Is
idea.
That too complicated?
Not at all. I could.
Is that complicated?
Nope, that's not complicated at all. Yep, I could do that right through Malcolm. That's he's been very good at arranging this, and he's kept me in the line on that. So I've got to say a special shout out to Malcolm Browning. He's your manager, right?
He's my agent.
Oh, your agent. Okay. Yeah, well, he's done he's done a great job arranging this, and like I said, I was quite thrilled to make that connection. So, yeah, I'll get your book and I'll send it to you. And as I said, if I see anything about trending on at the Toronto International Film Festival,
it's not trending; it's trendy.
Trendy, that's right, trendy. If I see anything about that, I will let you know, and so that. Would you come out to Toronto for that?
I would like to, yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because you had mentioned to me you haven't been to Canada.
No, I haven't. No.
You got to get out to the Maple Leaf.
Well, there's two places that fascinate me. One is Toronto, the other one's Vancouver. Actually, this afternoon, I've just watched a really good film called Wild with Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
Where she walks the Pacific Highway to Canada.
Okay.
You know that long highway? It takes her 3 months to walk that journey to Canada. So there's a bit where she's going over the bridge into Canada, so she finishes her journey. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe Canada's calling.
Well, Canadian films used to be very well received, but government, I guess, doesn't back them very well, and so we don't get a lot of films funded up here. But we get a lot of American companies coming in and shooting stuff. But I miss the days when Canada made films. And I think our highest grossing film here right now is Bon Cop, Bad Cop, which was a bilingual film, which was pretty funny. But I'd love to see Canada get back into the movie scene in a strong way, because I think there's talents all over the place. Even where you are there in London, there's a lot of talented people and a lot of great films and filmmakers there.
You have some great locations in Canada, don't you? I mean, you really do.
Yeah. I would like to get more people up here, because nobody seems to know where the Maritimes and New Brunswick is. Because we're an hour ahead of Toronto, and I'm 4 hours ahead of Vancouver, so nobody seems to know where we are here. Yeah. But no, I
shall Google you.
Yeah, well, there's a New Brunswick in New Jersey, but then there's where I am. There's a New Brunswick here in Canada, and we got 3 cities here: Fredericton, St. John, and Moncton, and I'm in Fredericton. So
I should Google it as soon as I put this phone down, just to see where you're calling me from.
there you go. Well, Alan, this has been such an honor to be able to talk to you today, and yes, I'm going to look into getting your book, and I'm going to check out Cockneys versus Zombies, and what you take.
If you get the book to me, I will sign it for you and make sure it gets back to you.
Absolutely, I'll do that. Absolutely, and of course we're going to promote. Of course, Snatch had already celebrated its anniversary. Actually, it would have been 2000 it came out. I was thinking last year was its anniversary, but I guess it was released here in North America in 2001.
Yeah, it released in Hollywood 2001, because I know, because I was there. I went to the premiere.
Yeah, but it is listed as a 2000 film, right?
Yeah, 2000, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always find that strange when the release dates end up with 2 different years. I've seen that with a few films. It's always been a little weird for me, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Ellen, I thank you so much for coming on here and graciously giving your time to my podcast. You're
more than welcome. Thank you very much.
I was wondering if before...
And hands across the ocean.
I was wondering if before you go, if you would do a plug for my show.
What would you like me to say?
Just say that you're Alan Ford and you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise in Canada.
Python's Paradise.
Yeah, that's the name of my show. Actually, if you could say New Brunswick,
okay.
If you can say New Brunswick, Canada, that would be even better.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hello, Canada. This is Alan Ford. You all know me from Snatch. And here I am on the Greg Gilbert show, calling from New Brunswick. And I hope you enjoy it. God bless Canada.
Thank you so much, Alan. God bless you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and enjoy that beautiful weather in London, England.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll be talking to you. Absolutely. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.